Hi everyone, it's Cheryl from the Gilded Daisy. I just wanted to show you how far I got on the sheep. Sorry I couldn't get back to you yesterday, but we were away for a few days. And I'm not too sure I left off, but I know on my last video I had put some stain around the whole sheep. I just covered him in stain and wiped it off with paint thinner. That's kind of what I've been using all these years and I'm sticking with it. Sorry, I'm on the floor here trying to show you how to do this, but I've been painting him and I'll just show you. Here's the print. That's one of the prints and that's him so far. And I wish I've got some close-ups I'll post later on this afternoon just so you can see better. So there's one of the prints. This one actually is a lighter print than the one that this sheep was, and I'll show you the other print. I don't know if any of you are around, but I'll definitely post this and you can watch it later on if you want to, of course. So there's the original. This sheep has more of a blue tinge to it, and I went over that when I was in the garage before I went away. But this is the original sheep on here, and it's tinted quite blue, and I actually love the blue. So this is the original. That's the paper, off it comes. And you can see how it just went a lighter blue. You do lose some of the color in the transfers. Hi Mary. Hey, there's somebody on here. What did you say? Oh, just in love with that. Oh, thanks Mary. I'm in love with him too. I just love him. So again, here's the little guy. I never do these prints. They take about the same amount of work to do, and I just, they're too much to sell. But there it is there. So I'm just going to share with you the brushes and stuff I did. Again, I am not a professional painter. I can't even draw stick people. Obviously, this is done by the lady in the UK, and I just do my little bit of a twist to it. But if you can see up in here, I added my own bits of blue. It's not on here, and it's not on the other one. And the idea is to take this sheep and personalize it and make him somewhat your own. I know somebody else painted him, but at least you can make him your own. I'm just going to show you a close-up of some things here too, if I can. But when you get them blown up really big, the brush strokes show on here. I mean, it looks great, but this probably was only about 18 inches when it was painted, and now it's 30. So it's going to blow up the brush strokes and stuff. You can see his ear there. And it still looks awesome, but it looks better. I mean, the original's beautiful, but when you're dealing with prints, it's different again. And the way to get rid of some of that it's not blurred at all or anything like that. I just like to fill in some of those gaps. And the way I do it is I can take my stencil brush. I use quite a bit. And I'll just dab and I mean, these are cheap brushes. And just the little flat brush you can see there. Oh, I can show you better up there. I use this stencil brush for dabbing. That little brush there. And I'll show you some other ones here. And then I use the little line brush. I mean, these are cheap brushes. I think my mom gave me these ones from Michael's. They're cheap. These ones were cheap. You got like a bazillion in a package. But we're not, I'm not creating fancy artwork here, even though it does look gorgeous. But these, I'll just show you a few of the things that I had done. With this little fine pointy brush here, that's what I use to get these little black lines. Let me see if I can bring this forward a bit. See those little black lines in there? I just use one of these little tiny brushes to pull those back because it's quite faded. When you do the transfer, sometimes it is a little, how to explain it? It is faded. It gets a little milky. So you can add back in all the character you like. So again, one of these little pointy brushes, I don't even know what it's called, and I just dilute it with water and black and just go over these little things here. I don't know if you can see that, but I just use a tiny skinny little brush. It's almost like a little felt pen marks. Not really, and I just go over a bunch of these little tiny things. Add your own if you want. Just gives it some character. I kind of use the water and dilute the paint a bit and dab it off so it's not dripping all over the place. But that's how I get those little black lines, is with this little brush. So I add all those back in here and there. And the same with all over his body. Let me see if I can lift this. You can see down by his chinny chin, all those little dangly things, all those little hairs, just with the little fine brush. Actually, it's not even that fine. Okay, let me put this back. and line them back up again. So the other one, I used the whites and the browns and of course the black. I use those ones. And I kind of mix up this blue a bit, and that's how I got the blue up in there, because I kind of wanted him to have a bit more of a blue tinge this time. I even have a little bit of purple in there. As I said, you can do exactly what you want. And I do have some brown in here. And, you know, I mixed this one because that's what I had with the white, just to do back in his ears a bit. I actually haven't done that, so maybe I'll do that and show you what I do here. Again, I'm not teaching an art class here. I just wing it. Everybody can do. Sorry, I'm trying to get this paint out. I mean, you want to add your own character to it. That's the whole idea. Let me just see if I can show you with this. It came out as a giant blob, sorry. But, you know, little flat brush. Dilute it off a bit with a bit of water. I've got kind of my mucky water in here. And you can see a bit. You know, I was going to add a bit more pink back into the ears. So I just basically wiggle that around. You know, add a little bit more pink. You can't screw up. It's impossible. And then I just use my finger. I mean, talk about finger painting back to grade school, but I just use my finger and add a little bit more back in. Can you see the difference there? Again, this is not an art class. I'm just showing you how I make this work. I'm sure there's some beautiful artists out there, but if you're an incredible artist, you would be making your own sheep. For those of us who can't paint and can't draw stick people, see, I just add a little bit of the pink back in. So easy to do. I mean, it doesn't even really matter where it goes. I just do that. See? Pink back in there. And it looks better. You just dab and rub. And it gives it some of the color back. And then I'll show you what I did. Like up here, let me see if I can get the poster here. When it's blown up. Can you see there? See, it's kind of mottled looking. I just go over it with my finger with the same sort of colors. But that little mottled looking look is just the blow up of the print. I mean, the print looks gorgeous, but I can get rid of that. And I don't want to get rid of it all because it adds a character. But I'll show you what I do for that. Again, you can't screw this up. It's absolutely impossible to screw him up. I'm just going to get a little bit of black out here. I'm sorry, I can't really read the comments on there. And I see another one. It says, can you use charcoals or will the lacquer not work on charcoals? Lacquer? I have never used charcoals. Again, I'm not an artist at all. I was basically just painting furniture for years and antiquing, and I would use the acrylic paints and a lot of the oil paints. I don't know how it would react with the lacquer. I just know that when I use these, you know, water-based cheap paints, I can let it dry and go over it with stain and nothing smears. It's beautiful, and I would show you going over it with stain inside the house here, but it stinks. So I can't really do that. But I'm just going to show you how I darken up these. A good question though. But again, I'm not an artist, so I can't even answer that question. So I'm showing you how simple this is to do if you don't know how to do it at all. I just dab my finger. See? There it is. Little black. And I just do this. I just dab it and then I kind of smear it. I mean, how artistic is that? But it looks good in the end. Trust me, it looks amazing. It turns out really good. And I just kind of fill in the blanks. And if it goes too dark, say I did that too dark, I would just dab my finger in some water, and I can actually remove that. See, getting rid of it. I can actually remove that because it'll take off some of the paper. So again, I use my fingers to kind of dab in and fill in areas. You know, I can pull this line down a bit with my finger, just like that. I can add lighter colors into here. But I use my messy little fingers a lot, and I just dab and smear. And they turn out great. I did all this blue up here like that, and if I choose to tone it down, I haven't really thrown any white into this one. Where's my white? Here it is. I'll just dab my finger with white. Sorry, make some noise here. So, white and black. Say that's way too dark and I'm really unhappy with it. I just dab back in some white. Can you see it there? I'm just using this as an example. I'll probably have to fix something later, but I just dab, right? And rub. and smear. Actually, it looks really good. So if it's too dark in some areas, you just go back over it and dab. See there? Again, and I just smear it again with a bit of water and kind of blend it in. You can't screw this up. You just play around so much. And I add all back into here. I add some more color back into here. I might add some more blue. And again, just my fingers, and I just smear it and put it in place. Let me get a little bit of blue there and show you that. So nothing high-end, technical, artistic. I'm just good at copying things. Okay, see, blue. It's actually kind of purpley. I'll add a little black. Think kindergarten and finger painting on your easels. You know, so say I want to add some more back into here. I don't know if you can see that, but say I wanted to add some more fur into here. See, I just smear it in. Can you see that? I just added all that blotch there. And if it's too much, I can just get my finger and I just rub. I mean, that's going to stay as it is because it looks fine. You know, so I just added a little bit more back into there. And again, with these little flat brushes, I just get it wet here. Little flat brushes and some brown. I'll just get some brown out here. Oopsie, lots of brown. I'll just do it on the other side and show you a tiny little bit of brown. Again, it's just watered down, and say I want to just add a bit more brown into here. Can you see it going on there? I mean, it just looks like that. I take my finger and just wiggle it around a bit, and I've added some more brown in there. You know, that's all I do. It's so easy. And then sometimes I just get my cloth wet, paper towel, and if it's too much, I can rub it back. So you can't screw up. You can either repaint the whole entire thing or just pick areas that you want to do. Oops, how much are they to purchase? Who does the enlarging? Oh, hi, Mary. And Armstrong, cute. Yeah, he is cute. Mary, I just sell the prints. We used to sell the downloads, and it just was not working. The downloads, it's too hard to find a printer that can print this type of image. I mean, there's a couple of ways of doing them. These prints here, these big guys here, they're an ink. They're not an inkjet printer. They're a colored wax printer. So we made the artist said, sure, go for it. And we're going to make, we've been making a bunch of prints and just selling them for $29 US. So the $29 US to have the prints made, and then they're about $29 to have shipped anywhere in the continental USA. I sell the actual finished sheet for $195 US, $235 Canadian. The actual finished sheet framed, and I have no problem selling them. And in fact, I wish I could make more. I just can't keep up. So we do sell the prints on our site. If you're interested, just message me. We're actually not in the business of selling prints. It's just wound up that way. I want my membership site to do well, and I want to teach. And people were having a hard time getting the prints made in their local areas, so we're just making the prints and shipping them out. And they turn out wonderful. There's the cow print, this print, we've got a bunny coming, we've got a buffalo, we've got a few of them. I think we've got 6 of them done. And again, the idea is not to be selling prints, it just wound up that way, and I would rather everybody just learn how to do this and have fun, and it's great for making extra money if you're a stay-at-home mom or you're retired, and you can make these and sell them at craft fairs and stuff. They sell really well. Let me see. I see who else is on here. Anyways, I had some people email about the membership site, and again, this isn't a salesy video, but there's questions that were asked just on an email earlier. The membership site started, it's $37 a month. I've been photo transferring for a couple of years now, but my whole thing that I love to do is build furniture. So in the membership site, we're going to be building furniture, redoing furniture. There's more work to do with these photo transfers. There's making small benches. There's making potting benches is the first one coming up in February. I've got a really detailed course on how to make potting benches. You know, so everybody's turns out different. I'm not into cookie cutter and everybody being the same, but most of the work that I do is building around old materials. So hi Daphne, hi. So that's coming out, and with every purchase of a print, I am giving away the course on how to do these. I'm just finishing it up this week along with this. I've shown so much. I mean, you don't even have to have the course because I've shown so much online, but I'll give it a more detailed and written out version of how to do the work that I'm doing with these photo transfers. There is another way, and I'll just throw that in there. There is another way of doing these if you've got a print that you would like to do at home, and that is to take that print and download it into, or not take the print, take the download and put it into blockposter.com and break your image up into 8x11 sheets and then trim them, tape them back together, and and transfer it that way. I just found it easier doing the larger prints. I've got tutorials too on Blockposter and stuff, and I've thrown all that. I think they're on my website actually. So that you don't have to buy prints off of us, but you do if you want the sheep. That's something with the artist. So anyways, I hope this helped a little bit. I'll come back tomorrow and finish banging him up and doing a little bit more painting and stuff, and see where we go from there. And for those of you, I don't know if all of you have materials or what you've got in the way of tools, but putting a barnwood or an old wood frame around him looks amazing. So I can show you how to do that tomorrow, and some more tips on that, and a little bit more tips on the painting again and the finishing. But sorry, I do have to go because I've got an appointment. I just wanted to touch base and show this guy painted. So again, there is the original. I mean, not the original. There's my painted version. And there he is there. So they do look completely different. I mean, they look like the same sheep, but they are different. And that's the whole idea. You want to add your own character to him. And the moody cow, the cow, I'll have finished tonight too, and show how to paint that one tomorrow, just so you've got some more ideas. So I hope everybody's had a great day so far, and it's good to be back on the island here. And I'm going to say goodbye now and head out. And any questions, just write them below or in the comments, and I'll try and get to them this afternoon. Okay, thanks so much, everybody. Bye.